Thea, your divine feminine educator. And in this video, what I want to talk about is astrology. You know, astrology is going to become more and more popular. It has as we move forward in this age of Aquarius. We are in transformational times, and you are very unique, and you chose to be here during this time. It's important for you to know how are you actually specifically being impacted? Specific for you, where are you actually being called to rise? And your astrological chart will actually let you know, give you more information on where you need to rise, where you need to transform, where you need to step up and expand into this new future that we are all currently co-creating. So, you know, millions of people know about their horoscope, right? Millions of people read their daily horoscope. It's very popular. And even the most skeptical people still know what their sun sign is. For example, I'm Libra. There's 12 different zodiac signs, and even the most skeptical people will know what their zodiac sign is. Shazadi, so good to see you here. I'm talking about astrology readings, and how your astrology can really let you know what you need to step up to during these times of change. You see, there's three planets, powerful planets that are dancing in the sky right now, and they're coming together, and them coming together have created this huge transformation on our planet globally. The last time that those three planets came together, because they each have their own different cycles, so they're moving through the universe at different rates, and the last time that they actually came together was 6,500 years ago, 6,500. I think it was 18 something BC. So this is a huge transformational cycle that we are in. And guess what it is ending? It's completing the patriarchy, and it's moving to the matriarchy. Now, the patriarchy is the masculine energy, and it's power over instead of power with. And so this big transformation that we're going from is from the masculine to the feminine, or from patriarchy to matriarchy. And matriarchy is not about the feminine being in power. Matriarchy is about power with instead of power over. So let's get back to your sun sign. Your sun sign, good morning. What we're talking about is astrology and moving from patriarchy to matriarchy, and understanding how your unique astrological imprint is letting you know where you need to rise, how this huge astrological conjunction created this global change, but you can actually see how it's affected you personally if you look at your astrology. So sun sign astrology is patriarchy. It only shows you what your sun sign is, but there's other planets that are involved, and there's also even goddess asteroids. There's also your north and your south node. So there's a lot of different things, and your rising sign and your moon sign. There's a lot of different astrological imprints that will tell you exactly what's going on with you. So sun sign astrology is very limited. It's a patriarchal point of view. So let me give you an example. You may think that, you may know that your sun sign is Cancer, but if you look at your astrological chart, you could actually have 3 or even more planets in another completely different sign. You could have 3 planets in Leo. Leo is about really being out there. Cancer is about being sensitive. So sun sign astrology is very limited, and it won't give you the full picture of who you are. Now, it's interesting. The stars were in a unique position when you were born. And when you were born and you took your first breath, it was like a snapshot, okay? A snapshot of where the stars were, and that imprinted your brain, and that created, so to speak, your personality and your soul's experiences. So this is really, and I want to show you what it looks like. This is one version of what a natal chart, this is called a natal chart, and this is what a snapshot of where the stars were at when you were born and you took your first breath. Now the stars keep on moving, but this natal chart is literally a snapshot of you and the uniqueness of you. Where was the moon? Where was Pluto? Where was Neptune, Uranus, Venus, Mars, Mercury, the goddess asteroids? It creates the unique you. And it gives you a tremendous amount of information about what your soul's intent is. It's really your path to your own personal empowerment. It tells you why you are here. For example, me personally, I come in as this Amazon woman, right? Independent and autonomous. And what I'm actually investigating in this life is conscious equal partnership. Being in relationship. So here I am, an independent woman, and I'm creating or investigating in this lifetime partnership and relationship. That's quite different from this autonomous Amazon woman. And so the beauty of astrology is that it will give you your own personal predicament. And so when I learned this, and when I was told during an astrological reading that I'm this Amazon woman and I'm investigating relationship, it was at a time, and this is my kitty, and she keeps on coming and wanting to be in the live. Come on, poopers. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, when I learned that, what it gave me was a tremendous amount of compassion, self-compassion, because at the time when I found that out, I was in a very challenging relationship. And it really helped me to have a lot more self-compassion for my own predicament of here I was coming in as this independent woman, but I'm investigating relationship. I don't have to do it perfectly. But the awareness that that's what I signed up for really was a relief. So what's beautiful about astrology readings is they give you greater clarity, especially when you're going through challenging times. And the other thing is that when you have an astrology reading, that you can understand what influences, what planetary influences you're under, and how to work with them instead of against them. For example, right now, there's a lot of planets that are retrograde, going backwards. And so it's a time of going inward. Even though Mars just stepped into its own sign, Aries, so we are going to start moving forward, but it's this balance of going inward and then stepping forward. So understanding how these astrological influences, where they're at right now, and how you can work and how they affect your chart and how to work with them instead of against them is really, really important. The other thing is to understand your gifts and your talents. I know for sure. See, I have Chiron. That's another astrological marker. I have Chiron in the 3rd house. And so a big thing for me is feeling heard and understood. Because the 3rd house is the house of communication. I also have Neptune in the 12th house, which is I have a very idealistic point of view of the world and can be a little bit naive. I was told that if we didn't have people like you on the planet, we'd still be in the caveman days. So understanding your astrology is so beautiful because it gives you a lot of a clarity, but also compassion of what your challenges are and what you are going through in this lifetime, what you're working towards. Your rising sign gives you what you're getting your master's degree in this lifetime. Your moon sign gives you what you already got your master's degree in past lifetimes. Another beautiful thing that an astrological reading will give you that I've been working on personally in my own life is your inner beloved, the sacred marriage, the alchemy between your inner masculine and your inner feminine, so that you create this sacred marriage and this inner beloved within you. And this is so important. What that will do is free you from loneliness, so that when you are single, you trust in the process of sacred singlehood. And you know that your soul is on a journey. And some people are on the 30-year or 60-year program with one partner. But more and more, we are going through multiple lifetimes in this lifetime. And so we do have multiple partners during our journey, like serial monogamy, right? But we trust in the process, so that when you are in relationship, you know that you are supposed to be with that person during that duration. And when you end up single and by yourself, that you know that you are supposed to be single, and it's called sacred singlehood. And those are sacred times, because then you can really take that time to work on your inner beloved. And so that when you go into your next relationships, it's almost preparatory for your next relationship, because then you won't attract the same guy, different face, pulling in the same situation over and over and over again. Instead, you take this sacred singlehood time and you look at your astrological markers for your inner beloved, and you up it to the next evolutionary level, so that the next time you attract in a relationship, you attract in a better one. Okay, so what is your inner beloved? Your inner beloved is, for a woman, that you are walking with your inner man by your side, whether you're in relationship or not. And for a man, it's his inner feminine, so that whether he's in a relationship or not, he has his feminine with him by his side. What that does is, when you look at your inner other and you develop that inner other, for me, it's Mars is in Cancer. And so I've developed that Cancerian energy, especially when I was single. And what that means is I've developed that inner nurturing, that inner emotional availability to me. These are all a lot about my own teachings. You see, when I have learned, as I have learned how to be in my own emotional storm and learn how to take care of myself emotionally, I won't project that onto my partner and think that my partner needs to be there for me emotionally. Now, it's nice when they are, but if you can't even cultivate it within yourself and instead you project it, what I had was a guy running away anytime I got emotional or over emotional. And then my abandonment wounds would come up. And it was very, very painful. And so I always worked and so knowing my astrology really helped me to strengthen my emotions, to learn how to be there for myself emotionally. And that was a foundational strength that I could only actually develop by knowing my astrology and having astrology readings to help me better understand that aspect of myself and not project it on my partner, so that I could create better relationships. So working my inner beloved and even knowing what my inner beloved was helped me to attract in, not to, number one, not to pine for a relationship, but really cultivate that deeper relationship with myself during that time, and trust in the process that my beloved is going to show up exactly on time. This just frees me from the pressure of, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He's coming in just the right moment. And my honey man did. As a matter of fact, that's another story, but a turtle brought him to me. I found a turtle on the road. And long story, that's another story for another day. But anyway, trust. Stop grabbing for a relationship and go inward and cultivate that deeper relationship with you. Some of the other things that I want to tell you about astrology: it gives you why you are here, a better understanding of your soul's intent and your soul's purpose. I want you to know that astrology was one of the oldest sciences, and it used to be taught in the universities up until the 17th century. So it is actually a science. And that, how did it come to be? It started thousands of years ago when people didn't have electricity, and all they did was they looked at the night sky over and over again. That was their TV. And so they started correlating the night sky to what was actually happening in their lives and on Earth. The changes of the seasons, the moon and its fluctuations. And so that was the beginning of astrology. It's a very, very old science. It will help you understand who you are on a deeper level. And then the other thing, during this time, this huge conjunction of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto, which happened 6,500 years ago, that hasn't happened. This is the first time it's happened again since then. How is that affecting your chart, your circle of life, your path through the cosmos? You can find out, because there's different houses. There's 12 different houses in the chart. The first house is about your personality. The second chart is about resources and money. The third chart is about communication. The fourth is about home, roots, and family. The fifth chart is about playfulness and artistic expression. The sixth house is about health and service to others. The seventh house is about relationships. The eighth house is even deeper, about deep emotions and intimacy. The ninth house is about broadening your horizons. The 10th house is about career and how you are out in the world. The 11th house is about community and being with others in groups. And the 12th house is, I like to call it the house of heaven, but it's the house of the unconscious as well. And each one of these houses have positive and negative expressions. Where is that big conjunction that has caused this change in the world? Where is it sitting in your chart? And how is it affecting you? And how can you know, by knowing that, express the high vibration of that expression? Where is your soul actually being called to rise? You can find out. All right. So I think I'm going to leave you with that. Please, if you enjoyed this video, share it. And there's a link in this video to the article that I wrote about a full astrology reading. And you can go back and read that. It'll have more information for you. And I am so glad you were here with me today in this short time that we spent together. And I'll see you next time. Namaste.